I've always known that strange things happen when you least expect them. Last month, my brother Isaac and I had a run-in with ghosts at our local McDonald's. It was scary, but it brought our family closer together. Mom and Dad, Laura and James were there for us, even though it was hard for them to believe at first. But now, as a new school year began at Willowbrook Elementary, I had a feeling that more weirdness was on the way. Isaac's in 5th grade, and he's always been protective of me. I'm in 3rd grade, and our school, with its dark hallways and creepy basement, always gave me the shivers. This year, though, something felt different. When we walked into our classrooms on the first day, everything seemed normal at first. But then I saw Mr. Blackwood, my new teacher. He was tall and thin, with dark, piercing eyes that seemed to look right through you. His smile didn't quite reach his eyes, and it sent a chill down my spine. Across the school, Isaac was having his own strange encounter with his teacher, Miss Sable. She had unnaturally pale skin and moved in a way that was almost too smooth, like she was gliding instead of walking. It was weird, and I knew Isaac felt it too. At recess, we met up and compared notes about our new teachers. "There's something off about Mrs. Sable," Isaac said quietly, checking to make sure no one was listening. "Did you see her eyes? They're so cold." "Mr. Blackwood is weird too," I whispered back, feeling a shiver run down my spine. "He never blinks, and his skin is so pale." That night at dinner, Mom and Dad noticed that something was wrong. "How was your first day?" Dad asked, trying to get us to open up, while Mom readied dinner. "It was okay," Isaac said, glancing at me. We wanted to tell them about our suspicions, but it was hard to find the right words. Over the next few days, things got even weirder. Kids were getting tired for no reason, and some even fainted during class. Isaac and I noticed that our teachers never seemed to eat or drink anything, and they always insisted on keeping the curtains closed. One afternoon, Isaac decided to investigate after school. He convinced me to come with him, and together we snuck into the staff room. We searched through papers and opened drawers until we found a hidden compartment in the back of a closet. Inside were old books bound in leather, filled with strange symbols and drawings. I couldn't believe my eyes when I flipped through one of the books. "Isaac, look at this," I whispered, showing him a page with detailed illustrations of vampires. My heart raced as I realized what we were dealing with. "This explains everything," Isaac said quietly, his voice filled with urgency. "We have to figure out what they're planning and stop them." As we heard footsteps approaching, Isaac quickly closed the books and shoved them into his backpack. "Let's get out of here," he urged, and we slipped out just as Mr. Blackwood turned the corner. Isaac and I knew we were up against something dark and dangerous, but with Mom and Dad's support and our determination to uncover the truth, we were ready to protect our school from whatever sinister plans our new teachers had in store. The days that followed our unsettling discovery in the staff room passed in a blur of suspicion and hidden investigation. Isaac and I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked beneath the facade of normalcy at Willowbrook Elementary. Our suspicions about the new teachers, Mr. Blackwood and Miss Sable, only grew stronger with each passing day. During classes, I noticed more of my classmates looking increasingly fatigued. Some even had faint bruises on their necks, which they nervously tried to conceal. It was clear that whatever was happening wasn't isolated, it was affecting the entire school. One afternoon, while in the library for our weekly reading hour, Isaac and I discreetly pulled out the old leather-bound books we had discovered earlier. The pages were filled with arcane symbols and chilling depictions of vampires. As I traced my fingers over the illustrations, a sense of dread settled in my stomach. Could it be possible that our teachers were not just strange, but something far more sinister? "I think I saw Miss Sable sneaking into the basement yesterday," Isaac whispered, his voice barely audible over the rustling of pages. "Maybe there's something down there that could explain all of this." My heart pounded in my chest as we exchanged a determined glance. We knew we had to investigate further, even if it meant venturing into the dark, eerie basement of Willowbrook Elementary. That evening, after convincing Mom and Dad that we were staying late for a group study session, Isaac and I made our way to the basement. The air was thick with the musty smell of old books and something else, something metallic and almost sweet. Carefully avoiding the creaky steps, we crept down the dimly lit staircase and into the basement's labyrinth of shelves and forgotten artifacts. It didn't take long before we stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed behind a bookshelf. Inside, a circle of candles flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Our hearts raced as we listened in horror to the hushed voices of the teachers, Mr. Blackwood, Miss Sable, and several others we didn't recognize. They spoke of feeding opportunities and ensuring the plan's success, their voices laced with a chilling certainty. "They're planning something big," Isaac muttered, his eyes wide with realization. "They're not just teachers, they're vampires, and they're preying on us." My mind raced as I tried to process the implications of what we had discovered. The bruises on my classmates' necks, their inexplicable fatigue, it all made horrifying sense now. Our teachers weren't here to educate us, they were here to feed on us. With our discovery came a surge of determination. Isaac and I knew we couldn't confront the vampires alone, not without risking our safety and that of our friends. We needed a plan, something that would expose the truth without putting anyone in immediate danger. Over the next few days, we discreetly recruited a small group of trusted friends who shared our concerns. Together, we pooled our knowledge of vampire lore from the books and old movies, and devised a plan to expose the vampires during an upcoming school assembly, a perfect opportunity when all eyes would be on the teachers. Late into the night, we gathered in my room, fashioning makeshift sunlight traps from mirrors and reflective materials we had scavenged from around the school. Tension hung heavy in the air as we discussed the risks and our determination to see this through to the end. The day of the school assembly arrived with an undercurrent of tension and anticipation. As I scanned the gym, I could feel the weight of our plan resting heavily on my shoulders. Beside me, Isaac and our small group of friends stood ready, our nerves masked by determination. Mr. Blackwood and Miss Sable took their places on the stage, their presence imposing, yet now tinged with a subtle air of unease. They began addressing the school, their voices smooth and controlled, but beneath their facade, I could sense their vulnerability. This was our moment. We had to act swiftly and decisively. I glanced at Isaac, his eyes meeting mine with a mix of apprehension and resolve. "Are you ready?" I murmured, my voice barely audible over the murmur of the crowd. Isaac nodded, his jaw set. "Let's do this." Our plan hinged on precision and timing. As the assembly continued, Isaac discreetly slipped out of the gym, making his way to a window overlooking the courtyard where our friends waited, each positioned strategically with mirrors and reflective surfaces. With a deep breath, I watched from across the room as Isaac positioned himself behind a large mirror panel outside the gym, waiting for the perfect moment. As Mr. Blackwood and Miss Sable continued their speech, I caught Isaac's eye. It was time. With a swift, practiced motion, Isaac adjusted the mirror to catch and redirect a beam of sunlight toward Mia's mirror. Like a silent signal, she adjusted her angle, directing the intensified sunlight towards Mr. Blackwood's face. Simultaneously, Josh mirrored the move, amplifying the light towards Miss Sable. The effect was immediate and electrifying. Mr. Blackwood recoiled in agony, his features contorting as the sunlight scorched and smoked against his skin. Beside him, Miss Sable let out a piercing scream, her pale complexion burning where the light touched her. Pandemonium erupted in the gym as students and teachers alike witnessed the shocking truth unfold before their eyes. Our once charismatic teachers were exposed as vampires, their inhuman forms weakened and vulnerable under the harsh glare of sunlight. Standing among our friends, a surge of adrenaline and relief washed over me. We had risked everything to protect our school and reveal the truth. Despite the chaos and confusion that followed, there was a palpable sense of victory, a testament to our unity and resolve in the face of darkness. As the vampires fled the gym, their forms dissolving into shadows, the school buzzed with activity. Authorities arrived, corroborating our account with the evidence left behind, their malevolent intentions laid bare for all to see. In the aftermath, Willowbrook Elementary underwent a transformation. New teachers filled the vacancies left by the vampires, and the school community emerged stronger and more vigilant. Isaac and I found ourselves hailed as local heroes, our bravery and quick thinking earning the respect of our peers and teachers alike. But our journey against the supernatural had only just begun. As we watched the sun set from our bedroom window that evening, Isaac and I shared a quiet moment of reflection. The world held countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and together we were ready to face them head-on. With our bond as siblings fortified by our shared ordeal, we embraced the uncertainty of the future. As we drew the curtains that night, prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead, we whispered to each other with a promise in our hearts. Here's to the next adventure.
And that's it for the Strange New Teachers. I hope you enjoyed joining Emily and Isaac on their spooky adventure. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more thrilling stories and supernatural mysteries. What do you think Emily and Isaac will encounter next? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have your own eerie school stories, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay curious and brave, because you never know what secrets might be hiding right under your nose. See you in the next adventure.